What's up, martial art friends? I'm Jay from EZ Wing Chun. Have you ever wondered about the fighting myth where you see a bigger guy, a very buffy guy, a guy in six packs, and then you start to have a nervous scare because you think the guy is stronger, faster, harder than you? Well, today we discuss about that, the sports science behind the type of strength and conditioning training and how it affects fighting. Let's go. First thing first, when you see those kind of guy very puffy, very big, the muscle look very full, right? And they got six packs, big chest, those kind of stuff, right? Usually you see in like bodybuilders, those kind of stuff. To be fair, the muscle is good for display, but not very functional. And I'm talking about athletic performance. I'm not talking about like if you only go to gym for like once every 2 months and then you watch this clip and then you decide that okay, hypertrophy is not that strong. Well, that's a mistake because that hypertrophy guy can pick you up and toss you into a garbage can, right? I'm talking about like at least you are semi-pro athlete. You go to gym at least like 3 days a week and you know what you're doing there. Well, if you look at in a sport order of any athlete in training program, hypertrophy is just the first stage, right? It grow your muscle, it get you the minimum strength. It actually try to protect you from injury. It's prep your tissue, like it increase, it strengthen your muscle, it strengthen your tendon, your ligaments, so that it prepare yourself, your muscle and stuff for the next phase, for something more specific. And if you look at in athletic world, right, any athlete, they have to specify their muscle for the use of their sport. They cannot just go hypertrophy, got like a lot of bulky muscle and then they cannot use it. Then the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna move into strength conditioning. So now you actually build the strength for your muscle. And after that, it all depends to you that if you want to do endurance or if you want to do speed and powers, because they very conflict, right? Depends. Let's say if you're a marathon runner, then of course you have to do endurance training, right? But if you just want to look for like self-defense stuff, I don't think you should, care too much about endurance. I mean, a lot of like combat sport nowadays, they talk about endurance and stuff, right? But the ring is not in the street. If you look at those CCTV footage in the street, most of the fight lasts about 1 or 2 minutes. Well, that's not very long, isn't it? As long as you can fight about 2 minutes and then add another 5 minutes for you to just sprint out of, like flee out of the scene to be safe. That less than 10 minutes. So don't worry about that too much. Well, if you're extremely weak, then okay, get some of it, right? If you are a wrestler, then you need strength. If you do BJJ, then of course strength on the way, right? Go deadlift, clean and jerk, those kind of stuff. If you do power stuff, right? That speed. Well, usually I do self-defense, so I really care about speed because like I said, I want to fight somebody less than 1 minute. I don't want to stay there for too long. Well, as you can see, right? Nothing is better than another's. It's just that different use. So make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you have enough knowledge in your field. You know exactly what attribute you're looking for. That's why you go into the weight room and use that as a supplement to what you're looking for. In sports science, we call it sport specific. Make sure anything you do is sport specific. The next thing I want to tell is very important. It's not about how strong you are. That's just half of the story. The other half is how good, how effective your nervous system can recruit the muscle. Like, for example, right, a very strong Olympic weightlifter can lift about 300, 400 pounds. Easy. But if you throw a punch in a punching bag, it doesn't like it's not that strong compared to how he can lift, right? But if you take an MMA fighters who just be able to lift like 150 to 100 pounds, but now he punched the punching bag, he was like, wow, that's a lot, right? The difference is it's not about that the weightlifter is not strong, but he doesn't know how to recruit those muscles effectively for punching. So that is something you need to train. That's why people always talk about how technique beats strength. Well, technique does beat pure strength. But at the same time, if you add technique on top of a very strong guy, wow, now that is like unbeatable combinations. So remember that, right? That's why people do everything very sport specific so that they could transfer what they can do in the weight room into the sport. It's either punching, either kicking, either dribbling, right? In basketball, either running, right? Even running, you have to train sport specific. You can just not go to the weight room, do some lift, and then you can run faster. No, you also have to train running. That's very crucial. That's why people and last week one of the comment also asked me like he asked me about but then weight training, like the myth is that people gonna get stiff, so it's not very good for martial art. But martial art needs, you know, flexible, those kind of stuff, right? If you train correctly, nothing to worry about. I mean, correctly is that if you go hypertrophy, yes, you're gonna be very stiff. But if you just go for strength, go for speed, and go for endurance, and then you balance off with your technical. Let's say you do 50% weight training, you do 50% of techniques, then nothing gonna happen. Like the previous example, of course, the weightlifter is strong, but he's so stiff when he punching. The reason is because he never trained to punch, right? He doesn't have the technical side. So it's good to balance it up. The key is always about the balance. So at this point, you already have some very basic idea about sports science and strength and conditioning type, right? So make sure you don't be afraid when you see a bigger guy, right? Because this knowledge help you, right? Knowledge is power. But at the same time, knowledge cannot win the fight. Repetition does. So at the end of the day, make sure you train hard. Don't just watch the YouTube video and like the other guys online and try to like, yeah, hypertrophy sucks. No. You understand it? You have to go do it. Action. Okay? That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comment sections what I need to improve. EZ Wing Chun, peace out.